So here we have another really neat spring ephemeral. This is Toothwort. This particular one is cutleaf toothwort. Now in the family Cardamine, but it used to be in its, which is a mustard genus, but it used to be in its own family called Dentaria, Dentaria lacinata, I believe. Anyways, Dentaria came from the idea that the roots look like little bumpy teeth, thus also named toothwort. When you hear wart attached to something, it often means an herbal meaning. In this case, it's no different. People, through the doctrine of signatures, the idea that some greater power had put down a plant that could have a visible sign as to what it could be used for medicine and food, was often used for that. So because these things look like teeth, they used to use them thinking that they could be used for all sorts of tooth ailments. But it is edible. It actually sometimes is called pepper root or wild horseradish. It does have a very peppery taste to it, and that keeps it from getting eaten by a lot of different things. And it is the root, of course, that you eat. And the problem with that is that if you do eat it, then, of course, you've killed this particular plant. Toothwort is a spring ephemeral. It comes out in the early spring and before the trees leaf out, and it has to do everything it needs to do. Produce leaves, collect much energy down in its roots, produce flowers, and hopefully seeds if it gets pollinated, all before the trees leaf out and it doesn't get any more sunlight. So it's a precarious life, but that's what spring ephemerals do. This particular one is the host plant for a couple of different butterflies, one in particular, the West Virginia white, a very low-flying, weak-flying white butterfly with dark veins. It's becoming rarer and rarer, and that is because the caterpillars will feed on these leaves. They only come out early in spring, and the butterfly comes, lands on the plant, and scratches it. It's called drumming with its feet, and then what you end up getting is it laying its eggs because it tastes the mustard oils, which tell it that it's found this particular mustard and to lay on it. The bad news is, though, that there's an invasive, and as a matter of fact, wouldn't know it, it's actually right here, garlic mustard, that was actually planted and brought in medicinally. It's edible and so forth. It does have a garlicky taste, but it's mustard. And like the mustards, and again, all mustards are cresses. They have 4 petals. It's a little difficult to see on these because it's starting to get dark. They're closing up. They'll close up to save its to save the nectar, so nothing can get into them. So in case it rains, which is supposed to do tonight, it'll also protect it. But they're mustards, and so when a butterfly is looking for this, and it accidentally finds this, tastes it, and finds out that it's got mustard oils, it puts the eggs on there. But that, of course, is not this, and what you end up happening is the caterpillar poisoning itself out. And as the garlic mustard has spread, this invasive plant has unfortunately imperiled the West Virginia white butterfly. But it has a lot of other problems with it too, as this particular plant also has allelopathic properties. It sends out certain chemicals, and those chemicals are pretty good at keeping other things from germinating, and so it prevents lots of plants from growing, from starting to sprout around it. So that's bad news for the West Virginia white. Luckily, this particular place, it looks like we have much more of this cutleaf toothwort, and it's a beautiful spring wildflower. And hopefully one that'll survive for quite a long time, along with the butterfly that feeds on it. Cutleaf toothwort.